Welcome in, Kia ora, to another episode of the Pod Fathers. We got almost the full crew here, minus Nikki, Bryan, Tom, Trevor, obviously myself. Left, down, and right based on what I'm seeing. Bryan, how have you been lately?
Fantastic. Just had a great weekend. Fun, what a four-game sweep. That has only happened only one other time. Rory winning a second green jacket, which, I'm kind of indifferent about, but yeah, life's great.
Yeah, always good weekend. Start of April's always fun. We were saying that last time. We got the kind of the end of March Madness, Masters, baseball season starting. It's a good time of year. Yeah, the Rory stuff, he almost choked it, but he's like just got to the point now where he won't choke enough and it's getting him over the line. So whatever
Oh, and
works.
I spent a week almost at Disneyland,
That's right.
and I just wanted to say that I saw a lot more Padres gear than
Mm,
I did Dodgers, Angels, any other representation. So,
really?
Really? Wow.
yes.
Hmm.
Impressive.
All
Very much
right.
so. And
Is
I
that
was
all?
just like random, just like go dads, just like walking by, just getting, really?
That's sick. And that was pre City Connects too. So that was like not even off the hype of the new release, right? So
Oh yeah. Not a brown, not a gold.
sick. I like it. Tommy, how's it? How's it over there late in the deep nights, early morning of the Welsh countryside? You're probably in England now, but
Yeah, I
same,
am.
same, same.
I'm unfortunately in England, yeah. But yeah, been watching baseball, watching golf, playing darts, not been playing baseball because Welsh weather said fuck off to me. I'm with you. So, but yeah, been doing well. Such a nice series to watch as well. Very refreshing after a tough start to the season. But yeah, I enjoyed it
I
throughout the
like
weekend.
it. Nice, nice. Trev, how's it been the last week or so?
Going good, dude. Padres on a what, 6 game winning streak?
Something
Looking
like
real
that.
good. I feel like we're World Series front runners as of April 13th. They're looking real good. The vibes are high. The team's really meshing together. Can't have gone much better, at least for the last 6 games. I know Pavetta's out. That's kind of a bummer, but besides that, we're looking real good.
We'll see that. I want to touch on that World Series part two, actually, real quick. Did you guys see that we were like 23% chance making the playoffs? Pirates were like in the 50s. And then
Yeah, I saw that a couple
preseason,
weeks ago.
like, yeah, we were like
Yep.
4,000 to 1 for Worlds. Where is that coming from? Like, I know, and that was even pre the bad start. Like,
I feel
who?
like the people that are hired to do this just don't know ball.
It's
I
just,
Like
also
it's
like
just some random nerds doing it, bro. I don't know.
I don't know who they use for like any sort of statistical analysis either, but like I just checked recently and Padres are up to like 30, 39%, almost 40% to make the playoffs, according to Fangraphs. And they've got a lot of stats to support that. So I don't know who those like MLB sites or whatever it is who
yeah.
they're using to do that math. But real quick, since Trevor was, last to be introduced, can we please address the elephant at second base?
What are you
Uh,
guys talking about?
that is your 1 a.m. absolute just called shot, like blind,
Yeah,
maybe
man.
sleep
I don't know
deprived.
how I did it. I mean, maybe I was there with AJ and we were passing the blunt back and forth, and I was like, bro, I have a crazy idea as my eyes were red bloodshot. And I said, what about Toddy at second? And AJ just looked at me and said, yeah, bro. And then passed me back the blunt.
And you both knew Craig would go for it. Like it
Yeah.
was,
Obviously,
yeah, 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 yeah. She'll,
whatever Titties says, right?
right.
Craig's like, all right, bro. No, no, man, I have no idea. That was just a shot in the dark. I was just like, had a little premonition or something, man. I was thinking about how we can get all our best hitters in the lineup because I really like Castellanos, and we can't really play Sheets and Duhar and Castellanos at the same time with Tati and Wright. So I was trying to think of solutions, and I've heard Tati was taking ground balls at second. So I'm like, okay, maybe we could stick him at second, and they can all play because
Right.
were all raking at the time. Castellanos was balling in Boston, and Duhar's been a total stud. Then Sheets is hitting bombs left and right. So I was like, these three guys need to play it. So we put Toddy at second. And so yeah, I was just sitting there trying to fall asleep, couldn't sleep, thinking about Padres, and that was one of my ideas. And so I was like, I had my phone on the charger, I had my eyes closed, and I was like, you know what, I gotta like roll over, grab my phone, and tweet this right now. And then of course the next day,
The next day, it was like nine and a
Yes,
half
the
yeah.
next
hours.
It was
day,
not
which is
even 12 hours.
crazy,
Yeah.
like not even like a week later, a few
No.
days later, a
Few
month
weeks from
later,
an
like barely.
injury.
No, it
That's
wasn't
so
even a
wild, bro.
day. It was like lineup was posted, I think like 10:30, 11. I think you shot that at like 1 a.m. Like
1:30, yeah, crazy.
incredible.
Dude, I was about to say, yeah, it was like 1:30 in the morning. And yeah, it was like an early start or whatever for dude.
Yeah, it was a lucky guess, or maybe they're reading my shit and they're like, you know what, let's fuck around with
Might be onto
everyone and
something.
just go
Craig,
with
Craig
it.
was also up at 1:30, just like scrolling Twitter looking for
You
ideas.
know
How do,
AJ
how
is.
do I get us off this schneid?
AJ's up all night, bro.
AJ just
Confirm.
every night he types in AJ Preller into Twitter and it's
Maybe.
first thing
I
popped
mean,
up,
if I
Preller's
was
burner.
him, I would search my name probably sometimes.
Confirmed Schilt, not a titties guy. Craig, act like legit titties guy.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Jugs.
That yeah, that had me contemplating a lot. Like
Oh,
just
dude.
it was to the point where there you might have been asleep through the entire timing of that. Like you probably were asleep when you tweeted it, and people might not have woken up yet from the roster being announced with Toddy
Yeah, for real.
at second base. Like it was that close together. And I
We
was
got to get
just
a screen grab of the tweet up somewhere in here.
yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
have
yeah, you
to
got to post it. So I
100%.
went to the game
proof in
with
the
Nick
pudding.
on Saturday, and he like didn't believe that I didn't have inside info.
I
I was
I
like, bro,
wouldn't.
like, no, I don't.
Same.
He's like, I don't know if I believe that. I was like, nah,
Dude.
I was,
It has to be inside info or like that's
I'm
what I
just the
was thinking. I
baseball
was like,
mind. I'm one and the
what else
same
do you
with
think
the
about
guys
one
making
thing? Yeah,
the
yeah.
calls out there.
I mean, I've constructed a lot of Galaxy Brain lineups over the years, especially when things aren't going well. Uh, but I don't think I've ever spiked in such an epic fashion. So,
no.
Thanks,
It-
man. That
yeah,
was a
nuts.
even
sick one.
like I didn't even consider that for one. And again, just the
No.
timing was the extra trippy freaking part, dude. Like
If
Yeah.
anything, I would have been like, oh, give Tati at short, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah,
and
that makes
Yeah.
then
sense.
and then maybe X to third. But now
Xander
now
to
I'm
second
moving
even.
multiple pieces. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Xander to second. I think
Played
he's
there
got
before.
more time there and
Yeah.
at third than Tati has. So that throwing that at second was just like he has like one major league inning, I think 10 minor league
Yeah, yeah.
appearances at the position. It's
And
just
he
like
always takes ground balls in the infield.
right, right,
Even
right.
last year, he was doing that everywhere. So, like, I was trying to put two and two together, but it could have just been ground balls at second for nothing at the same time.
I
So,
think there's also something to keeping him like on the right side at least. You
yeah,
know,
you just
Yeah.
move him
Yeah.
in. It's not much
right.
difference. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, part of my thinking was they kind of screwed over Bogarts a couple seasons ago when they moved
Yeah.
him to second, like out
Yep.
of nowhere. And so, like, I feel like putting him
For your
Tatis at
favorite player.
short, like, it would ruffle some feathers. Like, people would be like, oh, like, Tatis back at short. It would kind of threaten
Right.
X a little bit. So, just out of respect for him, I think they put Tati at second.
I mean, I do think long term, like X probably makes a move to third,
Yeah, or first or
and then
second.
Manny goes to first, and eventually DH.
Yeah.
But
Years away. Like I still think
yeah,
Bogarts is a great shortstop. He
yeah,
makes all the fundamental
Yeah.
plays. He doesn't
yep.
have a
He's
ton
looked
of
good this
range
year.
like Kim, but he Kim would let balls go in between his legs all the time and just boot like some of the stupidest plays, but he'd make up for it with like these crazy rangy plays. I feel like X just gets the job done. He makes all the
Yep.
routine
Yeah. Super
plays.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was Toddy's knock too, right? Like he was getting knocked for having like some errors here and there. I mean, one with Haas was at first, but two, he was getting to balls that no one else in the league was getting to. And then he'd,
True.
make an errant throw or something. So,
But he was
but
making the routine plays. I feel like Kim
yeah,
wasn't making routine plays consistently.
he wasn't that last year. I think he had been much better in that utility role. But when he played there every day, he got exposed a little bit, even though
Yeah,
that
no,
was
you're
his
right.
strong point, really. It was defensively.
Didn't
He
you
just
see,
had
have
a
you seen that
crap
video
year.
that Nick put
I
together?
did, yeah, 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 yeah. I do think he just
That's
had like a
real.
super down year, of, like getting injured and whatnot. He was just off. There was a lot of pressure with his contract year and whatnot. He was a better
Doing his
player than that.
laundry.
Yeah, once you brought that
That's
up,
always very
got
stressful. Yeah, when you
exposed.
have that
Yeah,
on your plate.
Mucho
stopped
stress.
smoking. So, yeah, I don't know. That was just that was a wild, wild, wild call, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, he's got to be the like even Mud was saying, he's like, he's a unit for a second baseman. I don't know if I've seen a second baseman that
Jeff Kent
tall
was six
before.
four, but yeah, besides him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
His
like,
footwork
yeah.
was a little shaky on that double play, but like doesn't matter because he fired 108.
Bro, that
Captain
throw was
just looked at
sick.
him like,
That hurt Sheets' hand.
he
I'm
was like,
sure if he caught that on the palm and not the webbing, yeah.
oh yeah. And we have like a couple fresh guys at first too. Like Sheets isn't like the most refined first baseman either. So,
He
dude.
like stepped into the throw
Oh yeah, he
all
was like,
palm.
I'm ready for this. That like just to show you guys what I still got cannon wise. Yeah,
Yeah,
he threw him out by like 5 feet too. It wasn't even
Yeah.
close.
No.
She's just like, you
that was
mother.
sick.
That was dope. But well done. Our inside info correspondent
I
on the
got you
show.
guys.
Thank you, Preller's Burner. That's the handle is like that for a reason. So
Damn right.
want a basketball or a smoke sesh with Mr. AJ himself, just hit up Trevor, aka Titties. All right, boys, pivoting over to the recent run of form here. I think the last time that we recorded the episode was do they know it's spring training's over or something like that. Point being, it was a horrible start to the year. It looked like we were just stuck in first gear while everyone else was nice and ready to roll for the season. And lo and behold, right after that, we went on an absolute tear. At the time, we think we were second worst record in baseball, and now we are tied for worst, something like that, and now we're second best. So it just goes to show you, early on in the season, you're going to have a lot of overreactions. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's tweaked out one way or the other. I mean, even just Ty France yesterday coming into the game, I think he was hitting like a buck 20, and now he's like our second top average at like 280, right? So that these are the sort of things where they're going to balance itself out and whatnot. But definitely saw a shift from the Boston series with just how the team has played. And we've even been still underperforming, in my opinion, by quite a large amount in certain games, whether that's bullpen situations, starting pitching, the hitting. The hitting the last few games has been much, much better, although we were playing against the Rockies. So we'll see, even though with their good start, how it's been. But um, Bryan, what have been some of your kind of key takeaways, I guess, from that Red Sox, starting with that Red Sox series? I know won that series, won the Pirate series, and then, as you mentioned, 4-game sweep with the Rocks against the Rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like, because the Red Sox series seemed to be a little bit, harder work, like they were still grinding it out, but there was
Yeah,
definitely a bit of a corner turn. I think the absolute fire start was the extra innings bogey grand slam.
for
Not
sure.
just to win that way, but a game where I think, there was like a 20% chance of loss. Like I was fully resigned to the fact that we were going to lose that game.
Like 3 times too during the
Yeah,
game.
Yeah,
100%. And then to have multiple guys contribute
Hmm.
to keeping you in the game. Campy showing up huge, bat and glove.
Huge. Hmm.
Jake gunning down the guy at home, obviously. And then the huge exclamation mark, capital X. I think that just like that's a season sort of changing thing. I know it's early, but how that momentum then carries over for the rest of the season. You have another walk off, and then Tatis getting time at second, and then like you're putting up 18 runs in 2 games. I feel
Yeah.
like that was like pretty pinnacle. Like Boston, like you saw a little bit of it, but that was like, okay, we are back. Like
Yeah.
you thought you might be back, and then that was like, we're definitely back now. Like we're 100% back.
Yeah. I think they had that one really good offensive game against the Red Sox, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. They put up
um,
like 8 or something.
yeah, and then like game one against Pittsburgh, they were back to not doing so hot, I think, or at least at the beginning, like Mitch Keller was shutting them down, and then they pulled through and they got to the bullpen, and then
they've
Skeens
been
obviously
fighting
shut
back
us
too.
down.
I feel like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
losing leads and then coming back. Where like in the past, like you're like, damn, that's game over. It's four
game.
zero. They're
Yep.
not coming back, and they
Hmm.
are. Like on Saturday, I think they're losing 4-1 or something like that.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
And I was like, man, like maybe this is over. Maybe we don't score here, and they ended up just killing them.
Yeah, that's so contagious too, right? And I think that
Yeah,
ever since, like what you said, Bryan, went from Xander almost proving to the team, like, hey boys, like we can totally come back at like whatever score, or like we should have probably lost this game like three or four times already. And then they had the terrible opening homestand too, with thousands and hundreds of thousands of fans showing up over the, those two series. So to just get the monkey off the back a little bit there in such a dramatic fashion, like you could tell it just absolutely paved the way for the rest of the Rockies series. Then game two with the walk off, and then it
Good
just
for
created
X
this
too.
momentum. Great for
Huge
X.
for X.
Yeah. So, Tom, how you feeling about our yield pod series last week plus?
Yeah, I just want to say it was a huge weekend for Luis Campusano. Or like he's
Your
been
boy.
firing up. And I knew Trevor was gonna smirk at that. But no, I thought that after those first two series it was maybe a home thing. Like I feel like we can underperform at home a lot. But to come back after that away stand, or what's it
Mm-hmm.
called? Road trip, that's it.
Yep.
And sweep the Rocks, you know, always a side we struggle against. I'm convinced it was always Charlie Blackman.
I was
I'm
just gonna say
convinced.
Yeah, for real.
that.
But no, it's such a confidence booster now, especially the two walk-offs. Who hit the second one? It
Gab,
was
Gavin.
Cheeks. Oh, my leadoff man.
Glam Diego.
So yeah, no, but gives us so much momentum now going into Seattle. Scares me looking forward. They're a team we always struggle against, but nice. It's nice to get those four wins, and they count towards the end of the season.
Yep.
By the way, another shining moment for our fan base. I wasn't there, but just want to applaud like 43K chanting the holy sheets, and then he
And
jogs it,
then,
and
So
then you
sick.
lose your minds. Like, good job.
yeah,
Good job,
dude,
San
dude,
Diego.
that's a great point, Brian. Because there was plenty of people, just like random, not even Padres fans, just like big
Oh
accounts
yeah.
on the next day, like highlighting that, like this is the best place to play. Like this would be an awesome place to play. I gotta go see a game in San Diego. Like those fans totally set that up, and they teed
They teed
Donnie
it
up,
up.
yeah,
Yep.
for
I
a
feel
epic
like
call.
they're in the process of putting in the final bids for the new ownership. And for us to have like this kind of run during that, like they could go for 4 billion. I don't know.
I mean, you always want to capitalize
They were
on
probably
any
there
bit
at
of
one of those
goodwill.
games where we walked it
Oh,
off.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I would
sure.
think.
Yeah.
Seeing the
And
fans
what
go
take one of the
crazy.
four? You had two walk-offs and you had four dubs. So
Yeah.
I mean yeah, the John Seidler and co are just like smiling ear to ear right
Gores
now, I'm
was probably
sure.
there.
Yep.
I saw him, his tan self.
So yeah, let's since you brought that up, Trev, I know that the last time that we recorded or at least spoke about the ownership update, Gores was kind of that we were talking about this before air, but or off air, that it seemed like he was the anonymous fourth group or whoever and whatnot. And he's, for those that don't know, which I'm sure most do, but he's the current owner of the Detroit Pistons. He's also a partial owner of the Los Angeles Chargers. And to clarify, he
Boo.
did buy into that after they relocated. Just I know that that popped up on social media just out of curiosity. So, dude, homie's absolutely loaded. You mean you have to be in consideration to buy a team, let alone own multiple. But I think he just carries on the underlying theme of all of these potential owners with current, not even past, but current ownership experience in with a sports franchise or team. So I find that to be really interesting and kind of a positive part of this whole process is that it doesn't seem like we just have some rich guy or woman coming in to just have a passion project and have no clue what they're doing. I mean, even though it's different sports with, Gores is owning the Pistons, like I mentioned, then we have the owner of the Warriors in there, uh, the part owner of Chelsea Football Club, and then the San Diego boy. He's part owner of Everton and Roma. So not the same sport, but there's a ton of similarities across that, right? That you just wouldn't have that experience or know what to do in certain situations with that. So that gives me some confidence that we have a good group at least. And I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite, but any of you boys have a favorite amongst the four? I'll get their names pulled up here too. But
I do agree with you that there is something reassuring about I mean, I know people like kind of balk at the idea of private equity taking over sports,
Yeah.
but at least from a standpoint of like organizational structure and sort of the next man up, like having a chain of command and having a board and having a process in place for
Hmm.
when the control person doesn't want to be in control anymore. Unlike, the Seidler family, and God bless Peter, but that venture, had no business in sports prior to the Padres.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they had a stood up equity group so they could make investments to make their clients money. But as far as like running a sports team,
Yeah.
Padres was the first go round. So it does feel a little bit better to have all candidates have at least a semblance of what it takes to own and operate, a sports franchise.
Yeah. And I think they might all be multiple. No, not maybe not necessarily. Yeah, Joe Lacob is the Warriors owner. Friedkin is the one that owns Everton and Roma. Feliciano, Chelsea, and then yeah, Gores is Pistons. Just to clarify that, but I think all four of them, from the private equity standpoint too, like you're saying, Brian. I think they're all finance bros as well. So I don't know if there's just maybe just because deals are getting so insanely expensive, like you're saying, Trevor. Like the rumored number is 3.5, but like I said that too, like a couple episodes ago that I heard 4.5 or read that somewhere, and that definitely seems like to be slightly overblown. But yeah, who's to say if they get in a little bit of a bidding war?
Mm,
I mean, yeah, they're watching, what's happening out there on a weekend series against the Rockies, or a game on Tuesday night or Monday night where it's completely sold out, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they can totally sway, or see if they're gonna put a little bit more into the pot there. So I don't know. Either way, I think based off of what Dennis Lin and others have reported, looks like they're for sure, I think is the exact quote, or maybe not exact quote, but looks like there's going to be an answer by end of month. So it should
Yeah.
be sometime very soon here in the next couple weeks or so. And to me, I love that it's going to be mid-season as opposed to at the end of the year, because that could only mean good things about the trade deadline if they're going to try to make a splash or something. I mean, they already know they're probably not going to need to pay anyone next year with the lockout, so they're going to get a year saving there. Hopefully, that's a joke. Probably not, but uh, yeah. But Tommy, you got a fave?
I don't. I've not really been keeping up with it too much, but the one thing that stood out to me about Gores was he's he owned a lot of Detroit teams, and that like keeping in the same city. I love that,
Mm-hmm.
even if they invest in FC or with the indoor soccer team or San Diego Wave and stuff like that. I'd love to see something like that, kind of working with the city as well as the Padres as well, because it brings more fans really, get into one sport, get into the other. So that'd be I don't really have a preference at the moment, but that's something that I'd definitely like to see.
Honestly, Tom, like you bringing that up, like it gives me like even more foolish optimism
Yeah.
that the Chargers might eventually move back to San Diego. Like, because there is a loose connection there. He's got, close to
Mm-hmm.
30% of the Chargers. So I'm trying to like connect dots and galaxy brain Tatis to second base for this, and that, well, if you see something in the Chargers, maybe you want to buy more of them. You obviously see something in San Diego with the Padres. Get another, 30%, get the majority, and then start talking about bringing those guys back. Let's start looking at that Wonder Bread factory again and that space. And then you've got like Tom Gores just owned San Diego sports. Like that's where my brain wants to go. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's that improbable.
I don't think so either. I mean, you're looking at guys like I was mentioning too, with like just disgusting amounts of money to their name too, right? So I don't foresee that like as an issue, even with him owning the Pistons and owning the Padres potentially just to focus on Gores. I mean, him paying for the relocation fee, excuse me. I'm doing a lot of reallocation at work lately. Relocation fee, and all those associated costs that potentially, privately funding a new stadium. Because if they're gonna come back to San Diego, it's gonna need to be privately funded for sure. Like, I don't think you're gonna get any, if all, even a little bit of public funding the way that it went last time. I mean, he's got about 10 bill to his name right now. Um, and I
I
mean,
think the relationship, like if he does become the guy,
mhm,
obviously the relationship with the city, them owning 70% of Petco, that'll give
true
them a really good idea of how this
how it
relationship
works.
would potentially work for a move and if it's feasible. So,
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Um, totally. Yeah, and this might be like his like intro interview if you put it like that. Just kind of his first year on the job, see how to work with the city of San Diego if they're worth it or
because I'll
not.
say I'm pretty surprised by that number, knowing that for at least another 7, 8 years, San
Hmm.
Diego is the
Yeah,
majority owner of the stadium. So obviously they must feel confident that they can work something out, but that figure without outright owning the stadium is wild.
yeah, that's just for the team. Like, that is not
And
real
and 30
estate.
and
Yeah,
30% and 30% of what
yeah,
Petco does.
yeah. No, I
Outside
know.
outside of games. I mean,
So
obviously games are all theirs.
yeah, 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 and clearly, like, they are seeing that valuation only increase, and I think you're seeing that across sports as well, just with how lucrative it has been for a lot of these owners. Like, you look at a guy like Jerry Jones, right, in the NFL and the NBA and even the MLB and whatnot. It's just guys. It's almost like buying real estate in San Diego back in the '80s or anywhere really, and just seeing that really appreciate for whatever reason. It's gotten really really nicely lucrative there. But I think the other underlying theme of all of these owners as well is they've kind of had a lot of success, at least recently, with their teams that they've also owned. So that tells me that they're bought in. They're not just there for transactional purposes. I think I got a notification yesterday that the Pistons won 60 games for the first time in a couple decades. And I know he's been the owner for like 10 plus years, I believe, there. But clearly and there's salary caps and everything across some of these other sports teams and whatnot, but still, you got to run a tight ship and know what you're doing to have some success there. It's just insanely competitive. So for that, I mean, obviously the Warriors owner, they've had a ton of success. Everton, Roma, I mean, I think it's Friedkin who owns them, and then Feliciano, that's part owner of Chelsea. Like, there's been a lot of success. It's not just some crap teams that have underperformed and been pretty shitty at their
Yeah.
respective,
If they're not
sports.
successful, they're at least spending money, right?
Yeah,
So it's like at least you're showing that you're willing to invest, even if you're investing in the wrong places, and that's not
exactly.
necessarily on them. So
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm excited. I don't think I have a favorite either. I'm just probably Gores would
Yeah, I don't
be
have a
my
favorite,
top
but I
pick
think it's
now.
gonna be him. Just have a weird
Seems
feeling.
well. I mean, if you got a weird feeling, then book it. Go
yep.
get to Vegas, everyone.
Let me get on Kalashi right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about him. I don't know. I don't know if it's because he came on late, but he stands out to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Great name
All right.
too.
Yep.
Tom.
Definitely. Um,
Less handsome Tom, though. I'll say
yes.
that.
Much older and a
Oh yeah.
little more Jewish, but
A lot more.
a lot more, definitely. All right, yeah, but a couple weeks we should have a decision there, so that should be exciting. And then, like I mentioned, you're probably going to want to see some bit of a splash come trade deadline. You would think, if not, once the lockout's all done and dusted, if it does happen, then I think that's when you're going to see a lot of commitment there. So anytime you have I mean, it's going to be a record sale for an MLB team. It's just like new quarterback signing that
Yep.
new extension, right? It just always resets the watermark there.
Quick side note. I think that we will be more willing to part with prospects because we know we can sign guys with new ownership. So we're gonna be able to spend in free agency now. So I think
Yep.
maybe we'll have an uptick at the deadline, deal some guys because we can just reload via free agency.
Yeah, that's true. And everyone's trusting AJ's talent ID. I think the
Yeah,
Marlins maybe had four guys on their
half their
their
roster, man.
half the roster starting today.
Crazy.
That was a draft pick by AJ. So yeah,
Yeah.
just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, hopefully they can have those pockets to sign starting pitching because it looks like that is getting a little bit thin for us potentially. I know I was at the game yesterday. Again, thank you, Tommy Ladd, for the tickets there. Legend. I actually was on Twitter, shock, looking in between innings, and I saw Laura, good friend of the show, say Pavetta's hurt, right? For sure.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even notice. Like watching him pitch, like that didn't even key into that. But apparently something was wrong, and it's official that he has elbow stiffness. So not apparently that can be an issue in certain parts of your body, as Trevor mentioned over on X there. But
Sometimes it's not.
sometimes
Sometimes your
it's
girlfriend likes it.
a stiff elbow, maybe not. Might hurt performance just slightly.
Yeah.
But not I feel like that's probably the best news initially that we could have got. It's I mean, Craig's trying to downplay it. I know he had a little bit of some issues there in Boston where he took a month off and came back and pitched another 134 innings or something by the end of the year. So um I mean, it's kind of a wait and see thing here, but is velo I noticed dropped to 92 on that last pitch when and he was a bit wild right before. So I do want to mention I was at the game in for the playoffs when Joe blew out his arm officially,
Oh,
and
I
now
was there too.
potentially for Pavetta. So I don't know if I'm the best luck for our pitchers here, but do you boys think it's fear the worst here? Or are we trying to be a bit optimistic? Where are we landing on the initial news?
I just hope it's not another Michael King moment where, it's he slept on his arm awkwardly, or it's not too bad, and then 3 months later there's still no sign of the player. Um, I
Kind of what
don't
they
want.
do.
Yeah, I know. I really hope they haven't like. I obviously I hope it's not bad because I think we'd be pretty cooked. Like Randy's obviously been great at the moment, but just don't drag it. If it, unfortunately, if it needs surgery, it needs surgery. But I don't know.
I love the fact that Bob Nightingale also
I
tweeted
know.
like it was like a reverse of you, Trevor. He's the exact opposite of you, where he says the wrong shit or wills it to be incorrect, and you're the exact opposite, where you predict the future. So he was mentioning that he's probably going to opt out of his last 2 years because he's going to get a new deal, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, he hurts his elbow same day. But
Jinxed him. So my buddy sent me this like long, like multi-paragraph thing from ChatGPT, and he like put all the info in about Nick Pivetta. And ChatGPT is saying like 20 to 25% chance of TJ. He might be fine with a few weeks off or a month off. So that made me feel a little bit more optimistic because like when I first heard the news and the stiffness, I was like, oh no, like he's cooked. Like this is Michael King all over again. He's at least out for the season or gonna get TJ and they're gonna downplay it and then randomly he'll be posting a picture where he just got TJ or something, just like they always do. And but yeah, him sending me that made me feel a lot better. Like I was like reading the data and the stats on it, and hopefully he can just recover within a month or two, and it's not too bad. Maybe they caught it early.
yeah, I think the fact that it's pretty similar to what happened when he was on the Red Sox too, like gives me a little
Yeah,
bit of optimism.
and he
That
kind of had that in
was
spring.
Yeah.
right flexor strain, and I think it took him 5 weeks.
Yeah,
So hopefully it's similar. And I do think like there's a lot of injuries you can play through unless, like with Joe, it's just like you're everything just
out.
detached.
Yeah,
He is motivated because he has the opportunity to opt out. And I think, that's he has a safety net, but I think he knows that he can probably get more.
for
So
sure.
he would be
Hmm.
motivated, to come back if he thinks he has a chance. And it's not going to ruin the rest of his career, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. No,
I think out 5 weeks is like best case scenario though.
yeah,
I do
I
too.
agree.
The
Yeah,
good thing is that Canning should be back soon.
yeah,
He just had a rehab start, looked pretty darn good.
he did.
Nice.
So yeah, I think he had 8 Ks in 5 2/3. I think he allowed 1 run uh, 6 hits, but yeah, very inspiring. So there are resources on the way, but like I've said, pretty much since preseason, I do think we'll see a trade, something smaller that happens well in advance of the deadline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, especially if we get like even one more injury at this point, too. Like it's gonna force their hand to have to get someone in the door. I know Waldron's had a good start to the year, so he's potentially another short term fix. So I
Craig
apparently,
shouted out Sears
oh
when
gosh,
they were
Oh
talking about
no.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Anyone but
he's
him. I'd rather
I
see Waldron.
I would 100% rather see Waldron. Sears, I
I'd
don't.
rather see McKenzie.
I have you seen his numbers
Ooh,
in
I
ooh.
know,
AAA?
I know. Still.
Unbelievable. He went like 2/3 of an inning, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, JP Sears does not have it. Like I don't want to talk bad about a player. I don't like to talk bad about players that often. He does not have it. Like I know they might try to make it work too because he was a part of the Mason Miller DeVries trade, but there's no way that that's playing. At very best, he could try and reinvent himself, kind of like a Kyle Hart maybe in the bullpen. But as a starter, like the stuff is just not dominant enough. I know he's a lefty, not good. Marco Gonzalez, I think is his name. At least Gonzalez, maybe Mark. I might add an O there. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's Marco.
Yeah, Marco. Okay, cool, good. He was, originally in the mix for potentially cracking the opening day roster, and he didn't have very good spring, and he hasn't started too hot either at El Paso, but he's another potential option. But yeah, we've got Canning coming back, who apparently was healthy enough to pitch at the conclusion of spring training, but he couldn't field his position. So that's why
Hmm.
they slow played that. So that was good, at least to hear from there. And then with Waldron, so we have a couple guys potentially, but like we're getting pretty thin here. We really think about it, boys. Like we had
We've seen
Darvish
three. Yeah.
down. King luckily has come back and been strong. He hasn't even looked that sharp, but he's battled through really well. Yeah, Musgrove obviously, and now
Now
Pavetta.
Pavetta.
I mean, you're looking at Vasquez as a five, from start of the year. So they're already going through it. I mean, luckily we've got some solid bullpen behind us. But right now, starting pitching is looking. They're 11th in ERA. It's right about kind of where I would put them, and that's with the valiant effort of Vasquez as well.
True.
So if we don't get guys back, and then yeah, I think Canning is that X factor, Brian. Like I was thinking of him as the natural Joe replacement in the short term, and now he's replacing
Seriously.
Pavetta. So
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
quick question. Was David Morgan a starter? I think he was, right?
they did
In the
trial him
minors.
in the minors for a bit, and then he pivoted to reliever. So I don't know. I know that like that was something they're maybe going to look at going into the offseason, but yeah, at least like stacking him and
Him
Hart
or
or
Hart
mhm,
or both.
yeah, might be an option, but um yeah, we'll see. We're getting mighty thin there. So,
Yeah. They got to make a move.
yeah, I agree.
Quick question. I saw this floating on the internet. It's off topic, not on the agenda here, but so Mason Miller for DeVries. There was a sleeper athletic saying that they would make that trade all over again. And I said same. I would take it all day. At first, I really didn't like it. I was pretty bummed. I was really high on DeVries. I thought we traded the next Lindor. But with how damn good Mason Miller has been, he's putting together the most dominant reliever season of all time, maybe. I 100% make that trade now.
I think both teams do. Would
You
you
think
Yep.
agree?
so? I,
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like a
Because
fleece by us
the
now.
the A's, like, I mean, I know they're off to a good start, but like they're not thinking about the remainder of Mason Miller's contract. They're
That's
thinking
true.
about where they're going to be once they're in Vegas in the next 4 years.
That's true.
And having like a young stud shortstop to like open that place up and be electric, like going to sell tickets. And I mean, they're doing sneaky good, and they've made some sneaky good moves. So like, I think they will be a thing, but they're not going to be a thing for the next 3 years. So
True.
We don't need Mason Miller. You guys do, hopefully.
I mean, he has 4 years of control too, Miller,
I
right?
think three more after this one, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
through 2029.
Yeah. So yeah, 3+ years. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, through to just to kind of revisit that trade too, like the A's got DeVries, obviously they got Braden Nett, Henry Baez, and Eduardo Nunez. And we got Sears and Miller. I the whole prospect thing, like especially when you're chucking in, like not all four of those guys are going to work out most likely. Just, I mean, I think I would. It might be a bit of a fleece, like you're saying too, Trevor. Just with how dominant Mason Miller's been, it just depends on
He could
how
win a
healthy he
Cy
can
Young.
stay. He could. Well, not according to Ken Rosenthal. He said there's no way that's never going to happen again.
Okay,
Guy's such a squid.
nice bow
He's-
tie.
God.
Gosh, no, I would totally hit that again if that was like on the table this year. I'd do the same thing. I was very high on Leo as well, Trevor, and it always stings when you have a really promising guy going leaving, but Miller's unbelievable. I mean, we've been texting about this together, but it's the best season start to a season I've ever witnessed. I mean, we all grew up. Other than you, Tom. Sorry, you're a little young for Trevor Hoffman, but um, just being the Padres, they haven't done a lot well. What they have done well over the course of their history is the bullpen and specifically the closer position.
Yep.
And even after Trevor, like even way back in the day, they had Raleigh Fingers, obviously Trevor for ages. And then you follow up with like Heath Bell, Houston Street, Kimbrel when he was, in his prime there.
Melanson.
Melanson. Yep.
Yates,
That
Clark.
Brad Hand was good.
Brad Hand. Yes. Thank you. What'd
Yeah.
you say, Tom?
Kirby, Kirby
Kirby
Yates in that
Yates.
team.
Yep. So it seems like they've always, what was that? Fucking hell. Homie.
Rodney?
Thank you.
Oh, Fernando Rodney. Yeah.
Fernando
He
Rodney.
did have, I was actually just about to look him up. He had I think like a 40 plus save season for us.
Yes. No, he was like lights out, you know. We've always had like they've done such a good job, whether it's long term or short term, getting a closer in there. And my whole point to this is the best start to a season I've ever seen, like almost by a landslide
Hmm.
as a Padre fan. And that was with all of these closers that we've had. And I mean, from a dominant standpoint, of course, he's throwing 103. He's got that nasty slider, but it's just everything is clicking for him right now. Confidence, stuff. I mean, even Don and Mudd were saying the slider's probably his best pitch, which is unbelievable. He could touch 104, and that's not your best pitch. Like, guys, just absolutely unbelievable. So I would absolutely redo that trade in a heartbeat, Trevor.
It
Good
was
to
only
know.
17 for us. It was 40 for Arizona the next season, but he was great in his short rental. Fernando Rodney.
Did we? I feel like he was like had no earned runs or something for like the longest and like zero blown. I don't know. Yeah, he was on like a tear that year, and then we got a good.
Well, he had a .31 ERA, and it was
He's
only
like 40 years old at the time.
29 innings. Yeah, 39. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, what's in the water here with the closers, but they absolutely turn out. The one thing that hasn't always been there for the majority of our entire lives is the bats. Has feel like we've ran through new, hitting coaches or coordinators or whatever the hell is in that position. Co-coordinators, with Flaherty, we had like three guys, right? Or the guy after that was like, we had a point person kind of. Nothing seemed to have worked. Beginning of the year, bats were ice cold. And ever since that Red Sox series, like we kind of touched upon at the beginning of the year, we've definitely seen a much better, consistent approach. Guys are getting hot. We went from like 3 homers to 16 in like a 10-game span. And we hit a lot of home runs at Petco, which is very promising to see, especially those couple walk-offs there. So, Tommy, you encouraged with the bats here in the past week plus? Think it can be more of a consistent tale?
Yeah, it always pisses me off when a team doesn't have as much power as you'd like. I mean, I would have much liked to see more home runs, especially in like the earlier start, like the start of the season.
Hmm.
But no, it's so nice, especially at Petco as well. Petco's not very hits friendly. Yeah, it just keeps everything in. And it's so nice to see balls go to the Swarberg seats in left, and of course sheets into center, and was the other walk off in center as well?
No, left.
Left, yeah.
Left
Oh
center.
shit, yeah, it
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
piss
Yeah.
missile to left, yeah. But yeah, no, it's something that obviously home runs wins games. It's pretty
Mhm.
much the fundamental. Um, and yeah, I think the power is such a big thing this season, such a big like proving point, especially from last season. That's something we lacked. I think we were 28th in home runs or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's something that definitely needs to be worked on. Hopefully, Sousa Jr. can work on that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a combination of the approach and then also who they've kind of filled the rest of the roster with, right? Like Castellanos still doesn't have a home run. That home run robbery that he had
That
in the
was
first inning
insane.
was unbelievable a couple games ago. Yesterday he almost poked one over the wall again. It was like right at the track there. And so that's with no home runs from him, but he obviously has that power to his name. Toddy hasn't hit a bomb yet, but we're getting a lot of production out of, Andujar, and Sheets has started to heat up a little bit. Merrill's got a couple bombs. Manny had that sweet pimp job a couple nights ago too. So to get him warmed up here,
In a couple
overall,
clutch spots, high leverage spots, which is
yes,
awesome to see.
True.
yeah, and that was after his really slow start. I swear, like I need to relook this up, but Manny, like every other year, just goes ice cold through like the beginning, middle of May, and then just goes on an absolute tear. And then the other seasons, he's like really hot, and then like kind of tapers a little bit and picks up at the end. So, again, every season's different, but interesting. They, as a team, though, number one in hard hit percentage and hard hit balls. So hard hit
Yep.
meaning 95 miles per hour exit velo or more. So I know. So obviously, from a number standpoint, they're number one with 195, I believe. They, if they played some more games, then you go to the percentages. They're number one in percentage as well. So that goes to show you that they're squaring balls up. And then they're also fourth in ISO. So you're taking away the walks for the on base percentage. So you're just looking at slug. And what's the other one there? Here, ISO is isolated powers of slug and average. Thank you, Ryan. Jeez Louise. So fourth there, meaning they're not walking a ton, but definitely there's a bit more pop there, Tom, than last year. And then they're also seventh worst in batting average for balls in play, meaning they're getting pretty unlucky
Yeah.
as well. So there's a lot of signs there to say and that it's shifting, and we've seen that with the actual output of runs scored here in the last week or so.
And Castellanos is a guy who's got a lot of those numbers that reflect that, and they
Yep.
just haven't, found grass yet. I think Jackson said the same thing a few days ago before he ended up hitting that jobber. It was just like they'll find grass eventually, and I think they will for Nick too. Pulling the ball well, everybody hitting the ball
Mhm.
hard. And I don't know what the official stat is, but like if somebody just referred to it as like meatball, like meatball
Yes.
percentage, like they're just swinging more at pitches down the dick, which we didn't see a lot last season, like guys taking that. Like Manny hit his job on like it was a
That was
3
so
through
inside.
3-0 count.
That too.
And
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm just fuck it. I'm turning on this and hammering it.
Hmm.
So it's nice to see a little more aggressive approach, especially when
Yep.
you could be in a more passive sort of situation and lay back and just say, nah, green light, green light, green light. I love that.
I'd love the license to kill, especially with the boys and we got in our lineup. Like
Yep.
that's what started Slam Diego, right? That whole drama with Toddy going 3-0 against the Rangers. So yeah, dude, like we have dudes that can dong. Like it's that approach is so important. I mean, with Vic Rodriguez last year, it just didn't mesh. Sometimes that happens. it seemed like it worked the first year. Funny enough, Astros are absolutely crushed. I know they're on like an 8 game skid, but their hitting is like top five and everything. So, and that could just be, the approach has to match the personnel. So with Souza, I feel like Souza Jr., good shout there, Tom. Um,
His dad had sex.
yeah, can confirm.
Yeah.
That's usually how that works, right? So, I think that they're based off how the squad is put together and the manager we have, they're probably going to react a little bit better to new school, you know, younger, been in the league more recently. I don't know. So at least that's what I'm telling myself. But yeah, hitting's definitely turning a corner. You're excited with the results here, Trev?
What'd you say?
You excited with the results here with the offensive output?
Yeah, I think they're looking good. I think more importantly, they're vibing together. Like that interview
Yeah.
yesterday with Tatis and Castellanos was gold.
It
So
was.
good.
It's total comedy. Even shouted out Crone there. Just so funny. You could tell they're having
Catching
fun with it, and
strays.
and I think that's why it's translating to the field because like I know I probably said this before, but it's like even in our own job environments, like the workplace vibes matter so much. And when you're vibing with your coworkers, you're more efficient, you're happier to go to work, you're excited to show up. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these guys this year. They're fired up and they're hitting the hell out of the ball and they're playing well. I think I'm just a huge Castellanos guy. I feel like he's been giving great interviews. He's been smacking the ball left and right. I really wanted that home run to go out the other day. I was there and I thought it was over. But yeah, if you've seen his baseball savant, it's like all red. Everything is
Yeah.
like 99, 100, 99. So hyped on him and I'm hyped on the team. They're looking really good so far.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
management too, right? Like you're saying, like go to work with your coworkers, and it's like it's a place you
True.
want to go. But like Craig is obviously a vibes guy. I
Yeah,
know he
he's
was
so
saying,
cool.
yeah,
Clearly.
I was gonna put Tati into like to get like X a day off and things like that. But he
Night
also
and day from
said,
Schilt.
oh, 100%. And I think
Yeah.
like, but that move was 50%. Like, let me get Toddy like into a more active position. Let me
Yeah.
just mix it up for him. And then, nothing left the yard, but like hitting the shit out of balls. I
Didn't
think
he
like,
start like 7 for 8
Yeah.
as a second
yeah,
baseman or something
yeah.
crazy like that?
Yeah. So, and
Wow.
he even said it in an interview. It's just like, yeah, maybe,
Clear his head. Mhm.
clear his head a bit and get him, thinking something different and just change it up, mix it up. It's like, that's awesome.
New stimuli, man. When you're like even me playing softball, I'm playing right field every day and then I
You're
like
checked
move into
out.
the infield. I'm like a little juiced up.
You're
I'm
juiced.
excited. Something different. Make
Yeah.
some
And
plays on the dirt.
see, that's the thing that I love the comparison that you made there, Trev, too, about not only like the softball and all the way up at MLB level, or even just like our coworkers and our team for our 9 to 5 versus like a bunch of dudes in a clubhouse getting paid millions of
So
dollars.
it's all
Like
the same
that,
shit. We're
Still a
all
job.
people, you
still
know?
a
Yeah.
job. Yep. And there's a lot of disconnect there where people just, you're getting paid so much, it shouldn't matter. And sure, logically it might shouldn't matter, but like that is absolutely never the case. Like if you've
Never.
been in any sporting environment, like it is exactly the same. Like from the top down, the guys you have around you, the dudes that are giving you instructions, like it makes so much sense. So makes you wonder how that Phillies clubhouse is because he looks like he's smiling. I know you mentioned that, Tom. He had a big old grin on his and he's
Media's
doing
better too
that on
here, probably.
purpose. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. And like Harper not being happy at all with, is it Dombrowski or who's the Phillies guy? I
Yeah,
forget.
the owner or
Um
something.
like there's some bad vibes there. And they have a talented ass roster and they've done very well, but it only takes you so far from what we have also experienced in the past. So that chemistry doesn't show up on these nerds pages here. Chemistry
Exactly.
plus.
Do we think Stamen was a good hire? I know like those first few games, I was like, oh, you're bringing in Wandy for King. Like, you're killing me. But now he's looking great. They've won so many in a row and vibes are high. I feel like Schilt might have been kind of a jerk. Things feel a little bit different this year.
Schilt confirmed jerk. I mean, like
Yeah.
verified by, front office and coaching staff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So his bedside manner was just like not as palatable.
I was being
But
nice in case he listens, you know.
in
Look,
his
I mean,
retirement.
and that might not be him as a person. He came out and said that like the job was extremely stressful and he, had a lot of anxiety and depression, didn't sleep much. So it's like, yeah, that's going to affect,
Your mood.
like your mood and what you take to your place of business. So, it might not even be him as a person, but I think Craig, like that move to put Tati in second, like is very impressive. Like
That is, yeah,
to
that's
be
ballsy.
able to,
Mhm.
How do you even
yes,
think of that?
especially like what your third
Galaxy
week
brain.
in the league, and just be like, I'm just gonna blow everybody's dicks off right now with this choice.
Yeah,
Uh,
that it takes a lot of balls, like when you put it that way, Brian. Yeah.
right? I mean, like that could have blown way back in his face. That could have been a very awkward post-game press interview if that didn't work out well, if anything happened. But he's like, let's mix it up. Let's like have fun a little bit. Like, because Tati at second is fun. That's fun. Like, so hopefully everybody's feeling that. My only a little bit of concern is that like it does feel like a tiny bit of a powder keg. Like, like love Manny, love Toddy. I love Castellanos so far, but like all pretty big egos with a brand new manager. You just feel like I hope that, like I think Manny and Tati got over their thing a few years ago
Yeah.
when they had it out in the dugout. And I feel like they both matured, but like they are very big egos with a brand new manager. So I feel like there is potential for things to sort of maybe blow up at some point. But it's just the like I think that's just like the pessimistic Padre fan of me being like, how does this all just totally
Crumble.
go off
How
the
does this blow
rails?
up? Because that's
Yeah,
normally what
yeah, yeah, yeah,
happens.
yeah. Because
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
can't have good things. So how does it
Yeah,
become not good for us?
that's not gonna happen.
I don't I,
Let's not put it out there.
I don't think so either. But
I think Stammen's just like so nice. Like watching his interviews, he just like seems like such a like good dude, so genuine. I'm loving it.
He had a lot of he had a ton of respect when he was a player, and that I mean, both with the Nationals franchise and then with the Padres too. Like he's always you always get those reports or that general consensus for certain guys in the clubhouse, and like he was like when he was here as an active player, like he was definitely one of the guys on the team that would just always get brought up. Like, oh yeah, Stammen helped me through this, or took me under his wing, or whatever,
Mm.
and that's not by design that where guys are shouting out dudes like that's literally a direct reflection of like the experience that they're having, obviously,
And who
right?
he
So
is, willing to
yeah,
help.
so
Not everyone's willing to help.
no.
Yeah.
And it seems like it just the for the time that he was here, you heard his name a lot, even if he wasn't, and it wasn't just about his results, right? As
Mediocre
a
pitching.
yes, especially in high leverage, which is funny with the whole Wandy thing. Wandy is Cy Young if he's low leverage. Like I'm convinced. Like if you bring Wandy in the fifth, sixth, you're losing by a couple runs, whatever. He is so locked down. Like
Only if
when
you're losing. I can't stand him if we're
I
winning.
know, especially up by one or tied, or something like that. High
Bring in
leverage.
Morihone, even though he hasn't looked good this
Yeah.
year.
yeah,
But
I,
weird.
yeah. And apparently the stuff
Danny
looks
was saying
good.
that, yeah, the stuff's
Yeah.
all there.
It's just, I mean,
Unlucky.
yeah, it's just maybe a little, round ball, round bat. Sometimes it happens. There's a ton of flares I've noticed with Morhone too, or ground balls that just like aren't finding a
And
glove.
it's
So
still early. It's
yeah,
April.
it's still super
Be
early. Like
fine.
even Wandy, right? Everyone's overreacting, myself included.
No, no, with
And
Wandy, no, that's real.
his ERA on the year?
I don't care if it's early April
Two
for Wandy.
two I agree. And I think low leverage Wandy is a different guy. He's got a 2.45 ERA on the season. Like if you had to ask me right now what it was, even with the last couple games, I probably would have said fours,
So what's
fives.
happening is he's coming in with a runner on second or
He's
first or
letting
whatever
guys,
it is, and
yeah,
he's letting those guys in. I think it was Michael King was pitching, he came in, gave up a bomb. I
yep,
think two of those runs they weren't in yet, and they were charged to Michael King. And then the second time he came in, I don't know who was pitching that game, but he did it again where someone was on second and he let them score. So they're not being charged
yeah.
to his ERA, but
No, he's letting his inherited runner score. I'm sure he's probably
yeah,
number one in that in the league or right
yeah,
up there
feels
with
like he
that. So the
is.
ERA doesn't reflect all that. I know with King, he's given up 6 earned on the year and 3 have been inherited
Oh,
runners
really?
scoring that were applied to him. So I'm sure that doesn't make him feel great. And yeah, 2 of those at the very least was Wandy. But yeah, I think we got a little off topic here on your question, Trev.
Sorry.
I mean, the jury's still out with Craig. Obviously, like there's gonna be bumps and learning curves, and like until you've been in that managerial seat, like even if you've been there for 20 years, that next day, no idea what's coming, right? So I wasn't overly excited when he got hired from a experience standpoint. However, if we want AJ and we're kind of all on board with AJ being here for a while and signing that extension, which, you know, probably was a good telltale that that was going to happen with Craig coming in. I mean, I'm fine with it. It'll be interesting. I do feel like his bullpen usage has been his probably worst part, which is ironic. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but at least initially,
But wouldn't you assume that like Rube, especially like having a co-managerial title, is pretty much pulling those levers? I'm sure
I
there's
would think so.
consultation, but I would think he has a stronger influence on those telephone calls
I
than
would
Craig
think so.
does, but I
I
don't know.
But maybe Craig is bullpen and Rube is starters too. I have no idea. Like yeah, how that whole relationship works too. Because yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's just kind of ironic. But I would imagine too, Brian, that that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
think it's all got to go on him.
no,
Um,
for sure not.
it is wild that, it's so crazy how like the difference like 2 weeks make. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Just like everybody
burn
was
it
saying
down
like,
to
aren't you guys missing Albert Pujols? And then how we thought our bullpen was going to be nails, and then like that's actually like early on sort of a weak spot a bit, and everybody loves Craig.
yep. And it's the bullpen actually is like regressing or progressing back to where it should
Yeah.
be. I think they're like top 8 and everything now. The one thing missing there though is the punchies, which is interesting. I know we're like maybe 14th or 15th last I checked in like K percentage, and that is with Mr. Mason Miller with
I
like a
was gonna say,
73% like
yeah.
K rate. So I don't know. But Tom,
So
what's
nice
your
seeing Jason Adam back as well.
you literally just blew my
Absolutely.
Sucks.
mind. Literally just I was just gonna ask you, how is it with Jason? Gosh damn. Go Tommy.
No, I was just saying, like it looked like such a rough injury last year. Like couldn't even see what it was really. But yeah, coming back slowly but surely. He's looked nice so far. Got a save as well, so he's gonna be huge as he starts to progress.
There's just some guys that just have it, to where you could throw him in any situation. Like he lost probably like a mile per hour on his velo. He comes back like a month or two before he should have and gets called up from El Paso. And they go, okay, hey, bud, Bradley isn't doing so hot. Can you get a really critical like save here with bases loaded coming in? I know we need one out, but like, can you
Yeah.
come in? And it was just like nasty slider, nasty slider, nasty slider, like maybe with a fastball in there. Like he provides so much calmness, and he just is such a steady Eddie. Like doesn't matter to him. He's like, these guys are gonna be fine without me, or they're gonna be good with me. Like it doesn't matter if I'm here. Like he's kind of like a Craig Stammen with like a better ability in his like current role, and you could just tell like that bullpen with Adam in there that's like just calms everyone down. Like you have a dude that'll just mop up now in any situation. Like the confidence is there. I mean he hadn't pitched in a professional game other than minor leagues since that injury, Tom, and like him coming in, I mean everyone was just like we're good. Like so huge to have him back. I think he'll be an X factor for sure. Definitely. All righty. Any thoughts real quick on Adam, Trev, since you're back in the hot seat?
He's looked good. It's good to have him back. I trust him a lot more than Estrada, so it's nice to have him in the seventh, eighth now.
For sure. Yeah, I think it'll take some pressure off Morone as well. You'll see some him come back quickly.
Honestly, like I didn't even know he was back
Yeah.
when they cut to the bullpen so quick, and I guess the camera was just dark, and then they cut to commercial. I thought Miller was coming out again, and I was like, "Oh, I hate this usage." And then like with the Gabe Kidak, I was Adam. I was like, "Oh, sick!"
Yeah.
I was so stoked.
They turned off all the lights for him and like
Yeah,
did like an entrance. I was like, wait, is this Miller?
So
Yeah,
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 and that was the thing too. I was like, Get the fuck out of here!" And then they cut to
yeah,
commercial, so I couldn't see who it
yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until pitch one I was like, "Oh, nice, he's back!" And then like, yeah, just handle business.
Yeah. No, he's gonna be. I mean, right when he got hurt last year, that's literally when I knew our season's
It was
probably
that,
done. Yeah,
and then Laureano.
and
After
Loriano.
that, I was like, "Well,
Yes.
fuck us."
Yep.
Yep.
100. Yep. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Adam, I was like, okay, we could probably weather this storm. Like bullpen usage, gonna have to get creative. But then once Laureano broke his thumb, it was like,
Like
okay.
that was it. Yeah. So now he's completely different. Completely different player or different player for us in that bullpen. Yeah, and like you said, Trevor, like him or Estrada, with how Estrada's looked lately, like I
Should have
don't know if
traded
that's
him.
phantom ILE
Definitely.
or I mean to be 3 mile per hour down on your he threw one pitch under 95 last year, and
Yeah,
he's
that's weird.
averaging 94 too. Like something to me. I know he
He's
lost a
really
bunch of weight.
skinny.
He's really skinny.
Like I know there's a joke out there about him taking Ozempic, but like, did he take Ozempic? Because he's looking really thin.
He said he played pickleball and golf and walked, right?
I
So
really hope he
sounds like
wasn't
Ozempic.
taking a GLP or whatever it is.
Yeah, and like I'm not an expert with that, but 3 miles per hour losing 20 pounds. That seems like there's something wrong with the elbow somewhere. I don't know. Like I don't know. I know mass with Mr. Newton is like very important, but I don't know if it's that important. 3 mile per hour important, or else every pitcher would be 400 pounds, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I do know that he seems like a stellar dude. Like I've seen his interviews, and there's something going on Twitter about some kid he was helping out, and
yeah,
he
he's a
seems
good
like an
dude.
awesome guy. Like I just really hope he can get healthy and get going again, because yeah, he seems like an awesome dude.
I also
Yeah.
love his composure too. Like when, I think it was like the third or fourth time in a row that the Dodgers knocked him around. Like that
Yes.
post-game interview, he's just like sort of just
Eating
like,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know these guys got my number. And that was when he was being like just nails against everybody
Mhm.
else. But like answering hard questions, sort of like short-term memory, it is what it is. Almost laughing it off, I think, is something that you like appreciate in a relief pitcher because like you
For
don't want
sure.
them carrying that over. Well, it's a little bit different if an offensive player is giving you those answers. But like I love that and I appreciate that mindset. So yeah, I wish nothing but the best for the guy. Hopefully
Yeah.
something more mental or just got found a bad
More
habit
tamales.
somewhere.
More
Yeah, yeah.
tamales. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. No, he's a good dude.
I
He,
know it's cutting season, but he's probably gonna have to flip it. Where he's probably gonna have to bulk when he should cut.
cut
You
in
can
winter.
start
Yeah.
bulking with me. I'm in my tank top right
There,
now.
there we
How's
go.
other meathead?
That's who
You
fed you
and
that second
AJ and
baseman. Right there.
Jeremiah just putting up plates, talking about the next big move for lineups.
I
Tati
love
at
it.
catcher?
All of a sudden, Estrada's throwing 99 to Toddy back there.
Dude, when Pivetta went down, like I told my buddy, I was like, fuck it, throw Toddy on the bump.
Dude, hey,
Cronin
Crone's not
work.
looking so good at the plate. Let's a little mini Shohei. Get Crone back out there, dude.
Uh,
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, no, hopefully he'll turn around. He's got that mindset, and it's contagious as hell. When you got a guy in the locker room watching you in Estrada just like man up and own that, and the way that he react, like that's so contagious too. Going back to your chemistry, Trevor, like
yeah.
you want to have some good eggs in there, even especially when shit's hitting the fan, because when you don't, you can see stuff like 22 where it just absolutely goes to shut. But
Well, Castellanos saying that too in his
mhm.
interview with Tati about how, like, when the pitchers maybe, let a few, over the plate and then the offense like picking them up, right? And then
Yep,
when the offense,
100%.
can't seem to find grass, like bullpen steps up, like that sort of mindset seems like
Our
just
offense is so good, man.
fully
It
insane.
like
Oh my
doesn't
gosh.
matter that our starting pitching sucks. Like the offense is just carrying.
Yeah. Yeah. We can go off in absolute bunches.
And
And
finally, that's pulling through. Yeah.
yeah. And then that was like the depth too. It's like I don't think I'll ever feel out of a game. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you can bring somebody like if Ty gets going well, like off the bench, You know what I mean? I mean, we had
for sure.
what was it that game? Like Sheets, Andahar, and Castellanos.
Yep.
Well, we didn't need them, but they were all available off the bench. It's like,
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah, yeah.
God.
No, and that's kind of what yeah, exactly what I wanted to finish up here on Brian's fantastic transition. Um I mean, you got a guy like I forgot Miranda was there in AAA. I was looking at El Paso stats. Like we got Miranda, like Jace down there. He's potential like outfield replacement. I mean, our what's it, Song? Is it
Song,
yeah, down there.
Song.
Where's he gonna? I know we were kind of talking about this before, but like there's no spot for him right now. Like just naturally, I feel like there
Need
has
an
to be an
injury.
injury. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
no, and it felt like with the roster composition, even at the beginning of spring training with the depth, we were talking about this a couple pods ago, but it felt like we hadn't seen this type of depth maybe ever. Like even just from a competition standpoint, like more often than not, like you see day one of spring training, you're like, I got a pretty good idea what the 25, now 26 is going to be, especially from a, infield. And it always felt like we were a couple guys short there, or guys in AAA, just like they'd come and fill in, but when there's ever injuries or anything, but there was never that like MLB ready replacement coming in. So beginning of this year, I feel like that was definitely something that AJ, and you could probably confirm or deny this, Trevor, with your relationship with him, but that was something that he had really taken a focus on this offseason, is just like stockpiling the depth there. I mean, it just seems absolutely ridiculous with the amount of guys. Like we're literally having to move Toddy to second to get as many guys in the lineup as possible. And I don't think we've ever seen that type of flexibility or need to be that flexible before.
Feels like our best offensive team that I can remember
Yeah.
since
No.
like, yeah, at least in the last 10 years. And before that, we were trash. So
Yeah. And that 22 season with Soto, like it
they
felt
weren't this
like
good. They
no.
weren't this deep.
On paper, from like that starting nine, it was like, of course, you got Manny, Juan, Toddy, like Xander, I
Once
think at
they
the
got
time,
Brandon Drury and like made those deals, they were pretty deep, but then all those
better.
guys left. And then last year we were deep, then O'Hearn leaves. But
Yeah. And
yeah, they're
yeah,
they're looking stacked.
yeah, they are. And but I don't think yeah, that like that bench depth has never been there. Like good point too. Like adding Laureano and O'Hearn last year, like that, I mean, that solidified the depth tremendously. But before that, you could roll
Yeah,
the nine guys out there almost every day. So definitely
Also think like they're assets. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
AJ not willing to or wanting to pay money for starting pitching, like at least I can get these guys that I know are major league contributors
Yep.
and they're going to get a chance to showcase. So then when two of our plan starting pitchers like go on the shelf, that's just more, assets for him to flip if we get that desperate. And hopefully we don't because I love this bench and I love
Yeah.
being that deep, but there's still a lot of potential value there, even if we can't find room for everybody. So
Yeah. And like you saw the starting pitching market just with what guys were signing for this offseason, like it was
and they're gonna get hurt.
ridiculous. Yeah, of
It
course.
might be a
Yeah.
smart play to not risk the money on signing pitchers because
Yeah.
most of them just get
Stockpile the
injured
bullpen.
anyway.
yep.
So might as well stockpile the offense and then just pick up guys like Canyon and hope it works out.
And then
Yeah.
see how the year goes, see whose
Mm.
form steps up a little bit, and then teams like, I think the Mariners are super deep starting pitching wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They probably need some bullpen help, and then maybe they need to add some bench pieces. I just think, it's not as desperate because we do have, a lot of value
Hmm.
uh, other places.
Yeah. No, I think that every year is so different, right? Like it's just you go into it and you're like, okay, this like, Morhone was like insane last year, and like you just immediately you're thinking, okay, he's going to be dominant from day one, right? And just like many other guys or guys that had a poor year, you're like, oh, they're going to have another poor year. And that's never the case with any sport, right? Like every
No.
season's so individual. So having that approach of, yeah, stockpile the bench, stockpile the bullpen, like have this insane bullpen. Because what is played in the postseason the last 10 plus years?
Bullpens and
Bullpen,
hitting.
right? So if you can piece together a good enough And really, you need a core three for your starting pitching, like at the end of the year, like a dominant core three. It's very helpful. If you have eight, nine guys, 10 guys, like there's probably three or four dudes in El Paso that could come up tomorrow. Like Alec Jacobs got a 0 ERA in El Paso.
Oh wow.
Like Garrett Hawkins is like up and comer, right? Like Bradley Rodriguez had like 2 games before he had a little elbow issue last year. Now he's like a mainstay, right? So you got, Yuki on the shelf. Like there's so much depth there from those two pieces. Like you're definitely seeing the vision and the strategy of AJ coming into this year, and I'm liking it. I mean, lock down a lead and get one with your offense,
Yeah.
right? So
But I mean, if we're just going to keep putting up 7 runs a game, like it doesn't
you don't need
matter.
starting pitching for that. And you got Miller to close it out when it's 7-6. Hello.
I think that's what we have in our last five. I think we're averaging
Yeah.
seven per 8, 7, 5, 9, 7.
5309.
8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9.
Uh,
Jenny, Jenny.
All right, before we get wrapped up here, Tom, any last little comments on the depth there? Sorry, I'm sure you're ready to hit it.
No, but no, as you say on the bench, I think you're 100% correct. We've never really had that bench depth over the past couple years now, and I think if Campusano can keep this up, that 1-2 as a catcher, that's really nice because I think Firmino was pretty good last year. I mean, he's not been super solid this year, but I think if he plays like he did last year,
Mhm.
that's a lot of depth at the catcher role. We won't need Tatis to go there. But if you told somebody 3 years ago that Nick Castellanos was going to be sitting on the bench for a lot of, well, not a lot of the season, but more than one time or two times a week, you think they're mental. So I think at the moment we're looking really good depth wise in the lineup. We just don't have that starting pitching.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah,
I
if there
mean,
are
if
some injuries,
Campusano keeps
yeah,
us up, I think one of him or Fermin are gone.
yeah, that's a fair point, Brian. Yeah, like I mean, we got Salas waiting. He'll probably be ready by next year, I would think, if all is good.
Or you could
So
trade Salas and like Schoolcraft for an
Sure.
arm.
yeah, for like
That that
December.
that should be a real good arm.
Yeah,
I don't hate
absolutely.
that
Like
at
an
all.
Alcantara or I feel like the Braves could fall out of it. They have a lot of injuries and like Chris Sale could be a piece. They did
Yeah,
something weird to the back end of his deal where they added like another option year, which I feel like just like made him more tradable,
for sure.
like set of a trade. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, but
I
we'll
mean,
see.
I think Freddie has 3 years of control and
He
Campusano
does.
has two.
Yeah,
So, yeah, maybe you
can't be.
just deal, all that potential to the prospect huggers.
Dallas is
Yeah,
looking really good though
he is.
this year. He's
Yeah,
like kind of
Danny was
back.
saying that. Remember, Trevor, when we were talking to him, he's like, just I know he like the extra numbers and all the extra crazy shit that he looks at. He's like, it's still promising. Don't look at the
Oh, really?
average. Yeah. So I
Nice.
was, and defensively, like kid's been a wizard from day one. It's just
Yeah.
like in that bat fall, it's always the multi-million dollar
Could
question.
bounce back
But
this year.
yeah, and he got hurt last year,
Yep.
like fractured his back, right? He like stress
Yeah,
fractured his
something weird.
back or something. It's like a 19-year-old. Like,
But I
hello.
think that scared everyone off at last year's deadline.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Yeah.
then
And
this
maybe
year
could
they
go
want to
for.
see he's all good, and then maybe he's a piece at this deadline.
Yeah. So I don't know. Campy's almost been in the organization for 10 years, which is absolutely insane to me. But
Wow. Yeah,
It's
he's looking good.
crazy.
it's looking good.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Best
hey, a couple
WRC plus
pods
on the squad.
ago we were talking about Campy. I said, hey, I think he can maybe hit a little bit. It
I
tra
said
has to
no.
translate at some point. If you dominate minor leagues, like you got to be like okay in the bigs. Like it's
Like,
common
yeah, not
sense.
as bad as he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even first year, rookie year, he was pretty damn like he came out hot.
He had over
Like,
300, I remember. Yeah, I think
yeah.
like 250 ABs.
So
Another hat tip to Craig, right? Like
Giving
it,
him a chance.
he's a
yeah,
catcher. He
you're
said
not
that
just
from
gonna
day one.
spell Fermin when, he's feeling a little sluggish. Like we're gonna get you like legit consistent reps.
Hmm.
They're
Uh,
sitting like every single player. They're rotating through and everyone's getting a day.
that's
I've noticed.
fantastic.
Yeah.
accept your
Could
own
also be
posse.
just like AJ showcase. Who wants my talent?
It's very true.
Campisano.
And AJ did say that about Campy. He was like, "We're committing to him. You know, he needs his consistency." He said that with the minimum that he says to the public, not to you, Trevor, but to the public, he does keep it
And to
at
me.
a minute.
My boy Hepe. That's what his friends call him.
The Hefster. But yeah, no, Campy's
It is
definitely
crazy.
having
You guys
fun.
talked about it earlier, but like the fact that there's over the last 20 years, the Padres have 142 draft picks to make it to the major leagues, which is good for third behind the Yankees and the Guardians. It's
Wow.
pretty crazy. And I know AJ is only responsible for just over half of that, I think, but
Yeah,
still,
10 years.
Good pull.
yeah.
Great pull. And you just got to think too, like the beginning and the back end of that. Like the first round talent ID has been pretty much a lock from AJ. And then the undrafted guys that have been coming through, the David
Hmm.
Morgans, like Brandon Nett. I think Braden Nett was like undrafted. There's another guy in the bullpen right now that's undrafted. I forget who it is. But just you already have like 130 rounds in the MLB draft for him to be identifying talent after that. Like the dude and his team are clearly doing their homework, right? So
Yep.
yeah. But all right, boys. Anything else you want to throw in to the end here? A good
Any
pod.
shout outs?
I do have a shout out. Do you boys have a shout out at all?
I
Do
want to
it.
shout out all the people that me and Tom play Fortnite with. You
Do we
guys
have
are
some hand?
sweaty. You
Do we
guys
have
are
some
so
handles?
sweaty.
Let's get some handles.
Yeah, let's get some handles.
D Max Shred with two X's.
Nice.
Nice.
We got Granted underscore Rex. That's Tom. We got Troe TRO dash EE. That's me. Then we have AKM Kitty, who's a legend in Revive Specialist. And that's the main crew right there.
I think Brian was maybe going more with like Twitter, Instagram
Love it.
handles, but
No, no, no.
the
I no,
Fortnite.
I wanted
Okay,
the
good.
Fortnite handles. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want the
I
gamer
read that wrong.
tags. Yeah,
Hell
I should
yeah.
have said gamer tag.
Add
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
add us.
yeah.
That's sick. Alana, known as Red Hot Takes on Instagram. I don't know if you boys have seen her on the IG. She's been doing a phenomenal job. First of all, from content, the amount of content that is being pushed out by her has been like uber impressive. But like she did one recently on the City Connect video with like Rob Machado, and then I had no idea that the two people next to him were like legendary surfer slash like surfer producer in that, all from San Diego as well. So that was like the deep dive she's been doing, both like not just Padres related, but just like SD related too, and then just sports in general is like she's blowing up like crazy on Insta. So we'll get her on the pod, but she's done a crazy good job, and
Awesome.
very informative in a fiery way, which I love it. So that's my shout out. Tom, you got any shouts? Darts team tomorrow.
Yeah, University of Gloucestershire darts team. We're going to win varsity tomorrow.
There we go.
We're going to win a
Or
point for varsity.
today.
Big game. Big players.
Well, thanks, boys. Appreciate you popping on per usual. Nice to completely different feeling going into this pod. Nice to
Oh yeah.
dissect them when they're doing very well, as opposed to doing as horrid as they were at the beginning of the year. So we're off and running. Appreciate everyone tuning in to another episode of Pod Fathers. We'll be back soon. Go Pods. Peace. With the better cup. Hell yeah.
Better cup.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Podfathers, a Slam Diego Padres podcast. The Podfathers is produced by Los and Walls and is executively produced by Jacob Lamb.
Our theme song is A Bubba by Trilock. To get in touch with the show, follow us on Twitter at Podfathers619. That is at PADFATHERS619, or email us at podfathers@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major audio platforms.
Go Pods!